Vicki Marie. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now then, for those of you who maybe don't know me, my name's Vicki Marie. I am based in mainland Spain and I cover true crime cases or any mysterious case, any case that sounds event that sounds interesting from all over the world, but mainly from the UK, from Spain, anywhere in Europe really, Australia and America. Welcome to my channel if it's your first time that you're here, and please think about subscribing if you want, and if you do subscribe, don't forget to press notifications, because that's the way you get updates either on this case of Samantha Murphy or any other case we're following. But I want to say a special thank you. In fact, I'm going to put my banner on because I haven't put it on for a while. It's all been mad this last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of cases that we've been talking about, that we've had updates on. It's been, a lot of them have been quite harrowing cases. So it's been, how do I explain it? The thing about true crime is it fascinates us. That's why we're here talking about it. For various different reasons. We want to be a voice for the voiceless. We want to try and understand things that happen in this mad world. But sometimes, it does get sort of difficult. But what we always have to remember is it's not as difficult for us as it is for the families of the victims that we discuss. So I want to say thank you to all of you that watch. Thank you to all of you who participate in the chat. Or if you just lurk, thank you to you lurkers, you fellow lurkers. I'm a lurker on other channels. I want to say thank you to those of you who press like, for those of you who subscribe, for those of you who share the videos. I want a special thank you to my members. I want to say a special thank you to my members. You are the mainstay of my channel, and the membership section on this channel is changing slightly. I did put a community post out about it. Now I also have another channel that people will be watching from my Spanish and English channel, because in my other life I am a Spanish teacher and an English teacher. And they will be watching from there, and the members on there can also watch the members streams that I do once a week on this channel. So every Thursday night is members live. There are various other bonuses that you get for being a member. You get to use the members emojis. You get, like at Christmas, my members were sent a gift of my Confessions of a Spanish Teacher book. The ones that sort of decided to accept the gift, and Valentine's Day is coming up, and I've got a special thing I want to do for my members on Valentine's Day. So please think about becoming a member of this channel. I also want to say thank you to people who send super stickers, buy me Ko-fis. Every little bit of help you give is so much appreciated. And people who PayPal me, I've got quite a few very generous people who support my channel on a regular basis. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you know. And of course, it's that support that means that I can carry on doing videos like this, bringing awareness about cases, hopefully making interesting videos that people want to watch. So thank you so much to anyone who contributes positively or even negatively to my channel. If you're a trolley dolly, carry on, knock yourself out, get your kicks. If being a troll on my channel makes you feel better, well, hey, you must need it. But be aware that sometimes I do delete comments when they're nasty, they're attacking me personally for something, or attacking one of my other chatters. So don't put up with any disrespect or attacking families of victims, etc. Like, why would you even do that? But anyway, never mind. But so, yeah, some comments do get deleted. I want to respectfully ask you do not mention by name other channels. We don't do that on here. We don't mention other content creators by name. And where else am I? that's it, I think. I think that's about it. So, can you believe, to all my regular chatters who've been following me through all this case of Samantha Murphy, can you believe that it's been a year, nearly, just short of a year? Today, if you're watching this live, is the 2nd of February. Poor Samantha went missing on the 4th of February last year, so just short of a year since Samantha went missing. And for anybody who does not know what happened to Samantha, so what happened was, this case, Samantha was living in Ballarat, Australia. Let's have a look actually at the geography of it. Yeah, so Samantha was 51 years old. A mother of 3 children, and motherless because of the actions of the person who did this to Samantha. 3 children now no longer have a mother. And not only that they don't have a mother anymore, they don't even know, her remains have still to this day not been found. So they haven't even been able to give her a peaceful burial, lay her to rest, say their final goodbyes, etc. And the court case is coming up this year. But so even that is still hanging over them. It's just horrible, isn't it? The person who is allegedly has done this is just a horrible, horrible person. Anyway, let me just show you where this happened for those of you who don't know. So it happened in Australia, in Ballarat, which is in the Victoria. It's the state, isn't it? Australia is divided into states, isn't it? So it's Australia. It's here's Melbourne. You might not know geography of Australia very much, but you may know Melbourne, and Ballarat is here. So it's not. I don't like to say it's not that far away. It obviously is quite a long way away, but I suppose if you live in a place like Australia, people, same as America, people travel long distances, don't they? Perhaps more than they do in other countries that are smaller. So this is where it happened in Ballarat. Samantha got up one morning. She was going for a run. She was training to do like a marathon type thing. She was training to do a special to run a special race. And she got up and she said she would be back in about an hour, because her and her family were having a family brunch that morning. And then off she went. This is, let me just see if I think I've got the last picture of her here. The last photo that was captured on CCTV. I've got somewhere, I think. No, it's not on my, I'll load it up in a minute. Yeah, she got up, she cleared up after her dog for the last time, and off she went on her run. And so her husband, Mick, was expecting her back, after an hour. And I presume, obviously I don't know because I wasn't there, but I bet what happened was first hour went past, didn't worry at first. What it's like if somebody, lots of people sort of, when they're late back, you start thinking, oh, when it comes to the time that they were supposed to be back, you think, oh, they should have been back by now. Oh, should I start worrying? Should I not start worrying? This was the last picture of Samantha Murphy, that fateful morning, just almost a year ago. And the reason why today feels like the year anniversary, even though there's still 2 days to go, is it was a Sunday morning. So it was a Sunday morning. She got up. She looks happy enough, doesn't she? She was captured on her neighbour's CCTV. Off she went for a run, and that was it. She never came home, and she's never been seen since, or except by the person who killed her, of course. So yeah, poor Mick, her husband, and the family, they've had to get through Christmas, New Year. That must have been terrible. and now this will be terrible again. And I think it's their wedding anniversary. Shortly after Samantha went missing was their wedding anniversary. So Samantha's husband, Mick, which actually I'm going to put a picture up of him. Yeah. And the kids, of course, because he's the one who's looking after the children now. So this is them when they first met. I mean, Samantha never changed hardly, did she? And even Mick, he hasn't really changed that much. He's just like become this older version of himself, but without really his face changing much. Oh, bless him. So I hope he's okay. I hope the kids are okay. At the end of the day, people carry on in life, don't they? You have to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice really to carry on, except, to not carry on. And that's another, Mick can't do that. The kids will be keeping him going at least, because he's got to keep going for them. He's got to keep going for the children. So, those children to lose their mum, one of them was very young, and then there's a sort of an older teenager, Jess, and the younger teenager. I don't want to name the two younger ones. Jess has been on television herself, so I don't feel bad about naming her, but the other two are younger, and I don't know I think they're both maybe underage, so I should not name them. So this is what happened. So off she went, and initially the police were saying, oh no, there's no suspicious circumstances as far as they know. So there were a lot of immediate searches. There were thoughts that maybe Samantha had tripped up and fallen in the bush, because of course this is right near the bush area. Had she tripped and fallen? Was she, maybe she was unconscious somewhere? So the first few days, it was not thought that anything untoward had happened. And then, so the police said that for a while. No, definitely, as they do. We can't see that there's any suspicious circumstances. And then, boom, one day, suddenly they said, oh, yeah, actually, we don't think that Samantha is alive. That sort of was a bit of a bolt out of the blue, really, because they'd been saying, for quite a few days that they didn't think there was any suspicious circumstances. And then, boom, there were. And then, boom, again, suddenly they arrested Parick Stephenon. Now, I've put this picture of Parick on my thumbnail for this. I can't show his face because this picture was taken while he was appearing by video link, from prison. So you're not allowed to show these photos, or you're not allowed to show the video or anything like that. You're allowed to watch it at the time, but you're not allowed to reproduce it. So I put this blue flower over there. Now, it's deliberate that I put a blue flower over there because Parick's, he was 22, I think, at the time he was arrested. He's now 23, or he was 23 and now he's 24. I can't remember which way round it was. When he was, the pictures that were shown before he was arrested, this is him, Mr. All Australian Boy. He's a tradie. His dad was an ex-NFL football player. He's like, he's a good-looking boy, had a girlfriend, had a job. But we've also seen videos of him, and it's obvious that he also enjoys sniffing a bit of cocaine when he's out with his friends, getting absolutely trashed out of his head. But, there you go. Probably a lot of young people do that. Doesn't mean to say they're murderers, does it, at the end of the day? But this guy allegedly is a murderer. And now he does not look like this anymore. You can see there he's quite muscly and wiry. But when you see the way he is now in prison, he's very bulky. He's grown this massive, great big beard and this long hair. He looks like a completely different person, to be honest. His hair is much darker, which is probably due to the fact he hasn't been out in the sun. But I deliberately picked a flower to put over his face because I just feel like someone like Parick would be really annoyed about that, because he's probably thinks he's a real macho man, wouldn't like a flower. So that's why I picked a flower, just to annoy him in my own head. I mean, he won't get to see it, but, well, he might do, I don't know. But who knows? I don't know what they're allowed to watch in prison. Be strange, wouldn't it, if he was watching YouTube about himself? But yeah, just wanted to irritate him, or just I felt like I was irritating him, and it felt good to me to put flour over his face. So we don't know what happened. The police are saying it was a targeted attack. They're insistent it was a targeted attack because, you know, it makes sense to think that Parick, who is a person who would go out and get absolutely off his face, who had been not long before this happened, crashed his motorbike into a tree and had to go to hospital because of it. Seems quite likely that he might have been off his face and it might have been an accident, and then he's covered up the accident. But the thing is, the police are quite specific that it was a targeted attack. And I'm not sure why they think that, because, of course, we don't know all the information yet. Apparently, there's an unprecedented amount of sort of digital evidence in this case. That's why the case has been put off while the defence have to plough through it. It's this, because they haven't found Samantha's remains yet. This case is going to rely on a lot of electronic data, isn't it? And I just cannot wait to see it all come out. So Parick chose to plead. He pled not guilty. He's pled not guilty to this offence. He chose to go directly to the Supreme Court. So that way the case stays more secretive until the actual court case starts. There's no information coming out. And in the meantime, the police are still looking for Samantha's remains. And they've been unsuccessful so far. Every now and again, there's a bit of excitement where they announced that they're doing a search. They did find Samantha's phone earlier last year. So that's something as well. They'll have got a lot more data off that. But they have not found Samantha. And that is, very sad. A lot of people think they're not doing enough. But anyway, so the reason for this video, that I'm making this video, is that this morning or last night, of course, I'm talking about Australian time, which is different to Spanish time. The Victorian police have released an update, of course, probably because we're coming up to this 1 year sort of, I hate saying anniversary because you think anniversary should be a positive connotation, but it's now been a year. Well, it probably has, you could think of it as a year because it was a Sunday. So although the actual date is the 4th, so that's another 2 days, it was a Sunday. So today really is the proper anniversary. The morning that Samantha, the Murphy family's life changed forever when Samantha got up in the morning, just went for a run as she would normally do through the forest and never came back home. Bless her. And still hasn't come back home. Not even coming home, in a body bag is better than never coming home. At least if they have the chance to put her to rest, that's going to be better. They've been told that she is deceased. The police are convinced she is deceased. Why? I'm not sure now. Have they found? No, it suddenly occurs to me because they've obviously been through Parick's car, I would imagine. Have they found forensic details in there that convince them that Samantha is deceased? Why are they so certain that she's deceased? There must be a reason for it. Okay, so they've released an update today. I say an update, they've released a statement. So there's been a little flurry of after there not being really much news for a long time about Samantha. I would love to do a video about Samantha every day and remind people about her, but you can't just keep saying the same thing over and over again. The last update we had really was when Parick appeared in court, charged with this drunk driving charge where he drove into, and that's annoying because that actually happened before Samantha even went missing. And if Parick would have been charged properly and held to account properly for what happened then when he, was so drunk, so high, whatever he was, that he drove his motorbike into a tree. Had he been held to account properly then, maybe Samantha would still be alive. But that case was never brought forward. And I think that that's because of who he is. I think that's because of who he is, who his father is. His father's like a local celebrity in that area. I think that's why Parick wasn't held to account properly. And as a result, Samantha may still be alive if he had been held to account properly at that time. Anyway, he did go to hospital. He had quite severe injuries. I won't be surprised if they're going to bring that up in court because he got head injuries. So they're probably going to use that as an excuse. There'll be lots of things, once it's decided, that Parick is guilty. I mean, he's still pleading not guilty at the moment. But if eventually changes his plea to guilty, then it'll be all the extenuating circumstances. Well, it'd be the head, the head injuries and this, that, and the other, or his mental health or whatever. When really the fact is this boy is an entitled, spoilt brat who just thinks he's above everything. That's my opinion. Anyway. Okay, so let me just say hello to the people that are in chat before we start looking at it properly. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Mia. Hi, David. Yes, they found not her purse. They found her phone wallet, Yvonne. They found her phone and her phone wallet. I don't think they found her purse. I don't know if she had a purse. I think she was just carrying. That's probably what you're thinking of, though, because it had her cards in it and everything. It was an iPhone cover. Anyway, okay, let's have a look what the police have actually said. So they've released a statement. Victoria Police have released a statement. Where is it? Okay, you should be able to see that, I think. Just let me make sure I'm sharing. Sometimes I forget to share. Okay, let me just have a bit of a drink of juice. Gosh, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Jesus. So ahead of the 1-year anniversary of her disappearance, detectives from the Missing Persons Squad have reaffirmed their commitment to finding the body of missing Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy. Samantha was last seen leaving her Eureka home about 7 a.m. on Sunday, the 4th of February 2024. She had planned to go for a run and was known to regularly run through the Canadian forest area. Now, that was something that led a lot of people to think, because this was a regular run that she did. So, of course, there were thoughts that maybe Parick knew her, maybe he had a grudge against her. The police are insistent that there was no connection between Parick Stevenson and Samantha. And they're insistent that this was a targeted attack. So you think, well, it can't have been an accident then, or he can't have been lurking there waiting for her to arrive. Was it just she was in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or when they say it was a targeted attack, do they think then, so those two sort of don't go together, do they? They're saying it's a targeted attack, but they're saying that he did not know Samantha and he had no knowledge of her. So targeted in what way? What, that he saw her running and deliberately set off to hit her just for the fun of it because he was high as a kite on drugs? That did occur to me. Did he just think it was funny? And was the other thing that's a big question is, were other people involved in this? People are still not convinced that there weren't other people involved in this case. Parick is saying absolutely nothing, so we're getting nothing from him. But this is the thought that maybe other people were involved. again, that's something to come out. The police have said no. The police have said no one else is involved. But one thing I've learned about the police in general, but certainly the Australian police, they say that, and they're almost trying to lure someone into a sense of false sort of security, aren't they? Like, no, there's no one else concerned, but all the time they're probably thinking, yeah, there probably is someone else. So a 23-year-old man was subsequently charged with murder on the 6th of March 2024 in relation to Samantha's disappearance. Now, why they don't name him there, I don't know, because he has been named. So this is Parick. Over the last 12 months, a number of extensive searches for Samantha's body have taken place with particular focus on the Enfield State Park Canadian Forest and Bunyinyong Bushland Reserve. These searches have involved a range of units from across Victoria Police, including Missing Persons Squad detectives, Crime Command detectives, local police, dog squad, mounted branch, search and rescue, public order response team, transport branch, air wing, intelligence and covert support command, and road policing command. A number of other agencies have assisted with the searches, including the Australian Federal Police, New South Wales Police, CFA, SES, and the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine. There have also been many dedicated local community members who volunteered many hours their time to assist the search. Now, I think one thing we can think is they will be determined to find Samantha. They are trying their best. Apparently, there's a lot of mine shafts that need to be searched. It's a very treacherous terrain. It's dangerous. It's huge, fast, massive. Samantha could be anywhere, but they'll be using clues from their digital data to sort of search small areas. I don't think they're going to give up. I think they will carry on. Even, if they haven't found her by the time the trial happens, they'll carry on beyond that. I don't think they will give up, because just recently we saw a woman, the search is continuing for a woman that had gone missing many years ago. I do think they will look, as long as they've got information to act on. I think the police will look for Samantha, and I'm really, I'm quietly confident that eventually they will find her. It's just a question of when. It's not a question of if, but it's a question of when, in my opinion. So the investigation remains ongoing, and it's focused on locating Samantha's body, with further searches expected to take place in coming months. And police are also continuing to liaise with the Murphy family. Then it gives you some contact numbers, contact Crime Stoppers if you've got any information. Now, I have a lot of viewers in Australia. If any of you know anything, however small it might be, at the end of the day, it's always worth a phone call or an email. Just say, this, I saw this, or I was a bit thinking about, it's always worth reporting it, because it just might be that one thing, mightn't it? So here are some quotes from Detective Inspector Dave Dunstan. This is the first time I've heard of him. We've heard from a lot of the detectives involved in this case. First time I've heard this name mentioned. Dave Dunstan, the Missing Persons Squad. As we approach the 1-year anniversary, our thoughts are with the Murphy family and all of Samantha's friends and loved ones. Since Samantha's disappearance, police have worked tirelessly to locate her. While nothing can erase their grief and loss, being able to return Samantha to her family has always been incredibly important to us. We also know, and we're going to look at some of these things in a moment, we also know that Samantha's death has had an enormous impact on the Ballarat community, as well as the wider Victorian community. Now, because the thing is, the year before, in 2023, there were no murders in the Ballarat area. In just 3 months last year, there were 3 murders of 3 women in the Ballarat area. Ballarat and surrounding areas. So it just felt like, evil literally had come to Ballarat. They're going from a year where they had no murders whatsoever to 3-4 months, 3 murders, all women, all gender violence murders. I want to reaffirm to the community that the Missing Persons Squad remains committed to do everything we can to locate Samantha. While a year has passed, we still believe we can locate her. This year, we will continue to conduct searches in the Ballarat area, including searches in areas highlighted by intelligence derived from a number of sources. Now, I don't think Samantha will be very far away because, it's too dangerous to transport a body too far, I think. Anyway, we also ask people who may be using these areas, particularly in the Enfield State Forest, to be aware of their surroundings. So that seems like that's where they think they are. But of course, it's a huge, in fact, I might get it up on Google in a minute. And if they believe they may have come across Samantha's remains, to contact police immediately. There is nothing we want more than to return Samantha to her family, and we remain committed to doing this. So this was Natalie Webster from the Victoria Police Media Unit. So let's have a look, the Enfield State Forest. Now we've seen, quite often we've looked at the terrain and, we've seen just how difficult it is. I mean, it's hard, it seems hard to find bodies, even in small places. It's not exactly easy, is it? Here's the Enfield State Park. Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. So, it's pretty big, isn't it? By the look of it. So what have we got? So this is Surface Point. Let's have a look. That's the picnic area. Let's have a look. Maybe I'll be better finding it on Google Maps. Let's see. Oh no, hang on. So it seems to be that this is where they think she is, isn't it? So sorry, I just want to show you the size of it, really. It's not cooperating. Oh, there you go. So, yeah, we can see it's pretty massive. It's this area here. This seems to be where they think it is, where they think Samantha is going to be. Anyway, time will tell, but that's what they just said, that this particular area. And it would just, I mean, I do feel that they will find Samantha eventually. It just happened one day, won't it? One day I'll come on the news and she'll have been found. Yeah, they found her phone, Yvonne. They did find her phone. Okay, so that's what Victoria Police had to say. And so, of course, that's led to a couple of items on the news, etc. And that's what we're going to look at. Some of the news videos that have been put up as a result.
Silence. Remembering Samantha Murphy stood in silence.
Oh.
Remembering they stood in silence. Remembering Samantha Murphy, who disappeared on a Sunday morning run 12 months ago, family, friends and the broader community still searching for answers about what happened to the mother of three.
Our community deserve to feel safe and they deserve closure.
As the search moves into the second year, the impact on Australia remains profound.
We're really proud of how our Ballarat community has come out in support. So whether that was specific to Samantha Murphy or the other devastating cases that we've had.
What Samantha Murphy's mysterious disappearance has triggered is a very substantial discussion about the chronic epidemic of violence against women.
On February 4, Samantha Murphy set off for a run in the Canadian forest. A day later, a major search was launched. Then this plea from her family.
Mum, we love you so much and we miss you.
The missing persons squad took over the case before this admission from police.
I'm very doubtful that she's still alive.
Then,
breaking news with detectives charging a 22-year-old Scotsburn man with the murder of Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy.
The only trace since, her phone found in a dam. In November, the accused, Parick Orren Stephenon, pleaded not guilty. The Enfield State Forest remains of particular interest in the ongoing investigation, with police asking those who use that area to be aware of their surroundings. There will be further searches in the coming months, with authorities committed to finding Samantha Murphy's body.
Samantha Murphy's disappearance has definitely brought fear out in people, and I think that we need to recognise that we can't immediately take that away.
We need the Prime Minister to step forward and say he's taking us on a journey to end the scourge of violence against women.
Sarah Jane Bell, 7 News.
So, sorry. So thank you so much, Claire. That's so very kind. Thank you. We're going to stay, obviously, with the Samantha Murphy case right to the end, right till the day that twonk, Parick Stephenon, is the alleged twonk, I should say, till the day someone's found guilty for Samantha's crime, for Samantha's murder. We'll be sticking with the case, and even beyond that, if Samantha still hasn't been found, we'll be following. I just hope and pray. Which reminds me, actually, I need to light my candle. Oh, and I found my other lighter. So I was accusing number one son of stealing it, and it wasn't. It was on the floor under my desk. So anyway, for Samantha, and of course for her family, you know, there's not a day goes by, actually, that I don't think about Samantha or a lot of the other cases that we follow. You get engrossed in these crimes. I don't know Samantha, never knew her, but I feel like I know her because I've followed this case so closely, especially, you know, when it was first developing. And now, of course, the news is so much more spasmodic, but still we'll be following it until it comes to till Parick Stephenon or whoever did it. I mean, I know who I think did it, but allegedly, because until he's found guilty, we're not supposed to really say that. But there's no way that Parick Stephenon would have been arrested and charged for Samantha's murder unless the police were 99% certain that he did it. Now, it may be that there's other people involved, you know, that's to come out in the trial, etc. But I think 100% certain the police would not have arrested Parick unless they were pretty certain, you know, that what he'd done. So thank you again, Claire, for that. Let's look at the next video that I've got ready. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, heartbreaking, no peace or closure. That's right. You know, people need a peace. There is a what's the word? A limited peace in getting somebody's remains back. Like this case we were following about the twins in Aberdeen, and it's so sad that they've both been found. They're both deceased in the river, but so much better that they're found. You know, it's not just going on and on and on. And at least with Samantha, the police have said what they think happened to her. You know, you have other cases like Jack O'Sullivan in Bristol in the UK, missing, just disappeared off the face of the earth. No news about him, nothing. I mean, they're literally really, you know, we've tried to do, I will do more updates about Jack, but you're trying to do updates with absolutely no new information whatsoever. And his family, again, they've had to go through Christmas and New Year, not even knowing if Jack is dead, alive. Will they ever find out what's happened to him? You know, these are the worst things for me. So at least with Samantha, they do know what's happened to her, or what the police think has happened to her, but they don't have the peace of saying goodbye to her, finally putting her. There is, you know, every country in the world, every culture in the world has a rite of passage when your loved one dies. If it's not a funeral, there's something. You know, there's something. Even years ago, the Vikings and that, they would put the bodies on and burn them on a longboat or whatever. There's some sort of rite of passage in every culture, in every society, in every country, because it's part of the cycle of life, isn't it? You know, and Mick and his family, they've been denied that because they don't have the remains, and other people who just have, you know, people missing who they don't even know what's happened to them. It's just horrible. You know, I just cannot imagine it. And I say these days, every time, like my number one son, I probably won't see much of him today because he was out all night, you know, which is great on a Saturday, why he should be. But there's always that moment of relief when I get up in the morning and I'm thinking, is he back yet? Is he back yet? Sometimes he's not back. Sometimes even when I get up at 7 in the morning, he's not back yet. Anyway, he was this morning. I didn't hear him come in, but as soon as I got up, first thing I do is look downstairs, see if his shoes are at the door. You know, it's like, because if he wasn't, then that's when you start to worry. And there have been times he's not been there. And I've waited till about 9, 10 o'clock. And then finally, because I don't want to be messaging him and saying, oh, where are you? Are you all right? You know, he's an adult. You know, I don't want to be like over the top protective, but you're sort of thinking, oh, when's the right time? You know, I could be wasting time here. Something might have happened to him, and I'm like worrying about whether I message him or not. You know, so it's all. So how Jack O'Sullivan's mum, he's a 20-odd-year-old boy who's gone missing in Bristol in the UK. He's been missing. Well, it's not far off a year that he's been missing. My heart goes out to them. So with Samantha, it's different. The police think they know what happened to her. Someone at least has been held accountable for it. Someone is in prison. But of course, they don't have her remains, and they don't know yet exactly what happened, because they, just the same as all of us, they're probably privy to more information than us. I don't know what kind of information the Australian police will have given them, presumably a bit more information than they've given the public. Maybe they do know a little bit more, but they've got to wait for the court case just like everybody else. Okay, let's go to the next news thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to have a look at this. So this is an article about women's safety. This, again, it's only 10 hours ago or whatever. So this article came out as a result of what Victoria Police have said. 12 months ago, Ballarat resident Pauline O'Shaughnessy Dowling didn't give much thought to her daily runs, but everything in the town has changed. So yeah, so all those women that, because that lovely, you know, it's so annoying, all that lovely area right next to your home. If you lived in Ballarat, you've got that lovely park at the side of you to walk your dog, go for a run, go for a walk. And now it's been changed forever because one woman went to do a daily run like she had every right in the world to do, and some twonk took her life. So that's changed it now for every other woman who wants to do that. You know, women have to think about running in groups. You know, but sometimes it's not convenient to run in a group. You might just, in the spirit, why shouldn't you? At the spur of the moment, you get up in the morning, you just think maybe you don't normally go for a run, but you think, oh, I just fancy going for a run, or I fancy going for a walk. You can't do that. So you've got to find then you've got to organise something with a friend, and you can't just do something on the spur of a moment because of this idiot who's done this to Samantha and spoilt it for everyone else. That really does make me angry. I think most women, who, if they watch these cases about dog walkers or runners or hikers, things happen to them, it does scare you. It does put you off. So through tears, she recounts the day Samantha Murphy was reported missing on her morning run, a stone's throw from her own place. Every time I go for a run, I think about her. So there she is with that. She's got a dog there as well, bless. The first thing I feel is profound sadness. It's just really shocking and sad. So this Tuesday marks 1 year since Samantha Murphy was reported missing after going for a Sunday morning run in the Canadian area of that's not Canada, by the way. It doesn't mean it's in Canada. They just call it don't know why it's called the Canadian State Park area, but it's Australian. It was confusing that in the beginning. It was like, what, the Canadian area of the Wuwukarong Regional Park. So Parick Orren Stephenon, 23, was charged with a murder in March and is awaiting trial. So he's been in custody since March. So he was put in custody only a month later. You know, they did deal with it pretty quickly, but they cannot find her body. And he has played every trick in the book to keep everything secretive. No, so apparently his family's standing by him, his girlfriend's standing by him. They all believe whatever version he's come out with. Anyway, women still don't feel safe. In Ballarat, a feeling of caution and sadness remains, and many women still do not feel safe. I've definitely changed the way I feel about running, Miss Shaughnessy Dowling said. I've changed the route and what time of day I run. I always now wear a headlamp in the dark, and she's not the only one making changes. I think men, runners, are making the effort to let you know they're not a threat. They smile, they say hi, they want you to know that you're okay. I mean, that's the other thing. I do feel for, because not all men are complete twonks. Some men are really quite nice. So, I think it's important for men to understand how not to feel a woman, how not to make a woman feel threatened. As if a woman's walking on the street, doesn't have to be in, if there's a man, don't walk right behind that woman, because that will make her feel uncomfortable. Cross over the road, walk on the other side of the road, or, go a different way or something. Don't go, close up behind a woman. That's going to make her really scared. And you don't want to be scared of every man you see walking around. But of course, these days as well, men, young men, etc., they wear hoodies and they wear, they look threatening even if they're not. Anyway, taking a stand. So, I thought, when I was watching that video before, I thought, I'm sure they had a male mayor when this happened. So Councillor Des Hudson feels a close connection to his community. As the former mayor of Ballarat, he remembers when the mood in the community changed. Last year, we saw the community being aspirational about absolutely doing better. We saw people wanting to take a stand. We saw marches in the street. And we should also never forget the names of Rebecca Young and Hannah Maguire, two other females who lost their lives at the hands of male perpetrators. Yeah, I remember he was the mayor. So, all these three women died between February and April 2024, triggering concerns about women's safety, not just in Ballarat, but nationwide. And this was Hannah Maguire, and she was murdered by her ex-boyfriend. Rebecca Young, these cases have not come up yet, I don't think, to trial either. But Rebecca was thought to have been murdered in a murder-suicide pact with her partner. Well, not a pact, that he murdered her and then killed himself, and then, of course, Samantha. And Hannah Maguire, of course, is significant, her case, that one of her friends set up a GoFundMe for her and then robbed all the money from the GoFundMe. So, during his tenure in 2024, Councillor Hudson fronted countless media conferences, becoming the public face of the Ballarat community. But it was while addressing a community vigil that he felt the expectations of his city. There was a great weight on my shoulders as to what I would say, what the community was looking for. I just tried to speak from the heart to what people were feeling. Now, I'm just laughing because I do remember him. I remember he had these very distinctive shirts. Every time he was seen being interviewed, he had a very distinctive shirt on. So 12 months on, the case continues to occupy his thoughts. I think the ultimate thing we're looking for is for Samantha to be found. Her remains to be returned to her family. She has a decent burial and be laid to rest. And Detective Inspector Dave Dunstan from the Missing Persons Squad said that Victoria Police remain committed to finding Miss Murphy and bringing closure to her family. And then it's just what they said earlier. So an angry community. Oh, so this was, I remember this girl as well, Tori Baxter. She was heading up the community searches, wasn't she? Initially, I headed out to Bunyinyong Police Station as they said community searches were welcome. And I noticed there was no organisation, she said. And over the next couple of months, the following months, she coordinated public search parties, spoke at vigils, attended court hearings and became a spokesperson. I think myself and a lot of others are feeling disheartened she still isn't found for her and her family. There are still people within our community that are searching weekly that don't want to give up. Oh, and these two local nurses, Louise Abraham and Norma Shearer, they have spent years walking the local bushland in Ballarat. Since Samantha disappeared, the enjoyment of freedom in the bush and the beauty of the bush has changed. Now, whenever we go out, we're looking. I cannot imagine how the family must feel when they look out and see this vast expanse and not know where their wife or their mum is. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to put a couple of windows down because I thought I had some other videos to show you as well. I've got too many windows open, so I can't see where they are. Oh, while I'm on there now, actually looking at the other, let me just come back. Hi, Seffi. Hi, Caroline. I'm going to do these free memberships now while I remember. So I've got 10 memberships on my Spanish and English channel to gift, because, you know, I can only gift them on there because that's my main channel. I set up my crime channel sort of on the back of this, so I cannot, anyway. Right, so I'm going to gift 5 now. Every month I have 5 to give away. So I have Susie K, Michelle Durham, Mellow Maggot, Dreamcatcher and Andrasta Wolf have all been given a free membership. I've got 5 more that I'm going to give. Paula Roberts, Kelly UK, Gary McKay, Charlotte Kelly, and Amio24. Thank you for watching. You must be watching, I think, to get gifted a membership. So thank you for that. You must have watched at some time if you're not watching at the moment. Thank you. So that means you can join in the Angel. I know. Oh, Angel, I just wish I could just gift you a membership, but I can't do it like that, unfortunately. I have absolutely no choice over who these memberships go to. But hi, Admit. Angel, are you sure you've even got your gifting turned on? That's what you've got to make sure, that you've got the whatever it is. You know, I don't really understand it much, but you've got to allow gifted memberships on your channel. So just make sure it's switched on, because if it's not switched on, you're never going to get one, unfortunately. Right. Let's find these. Don't know if this is the one we've already watched or not, so let me just check. No, we haven't. Okay, let's watch this one. So, of course, a lot of the news channels now, they're issuing sort of updates as a result of the Victoria Police update.
It's a case that baffled the Ballarat community, and almost a year on from Samantha Murphy's disappearance, locals remain desperate for answers. Friends and neighbours today held a vigil in her honour as police vow to do whatever it takes to find her body. Isabel Quinlan reports.
A moment of silence for a beloved friend, mother and neighbour. It's been almost a year now since Samantha Murphy disappeared. This morning, those who knew her best walked or jogged the local track to mark the anniversary and reflect.
I think people need answers.
The 51-year-old was last seen leaving her home for a run on February 4, but never returned. Soon after, hundreds of people from Ballarat and beyond mobilised for what became months of extensive searches. Data from Samantha's phone and Apple Watch showed she...
You know, it's funny, isn't it, the things you remember? Because, of course, you know, it's been a year and we've been covering this case, and I've done a lot of videos about... Do you remember this when they had this Balky? Do you remember Sausage Gate? There was a great big palaver about what someone had taken a tray of sausages or whatever. Do you know, it's funny because even, you know, I don't feel bad about having a giggle here and there about these, even though we're dealing with serious things. I know that. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. When you're dealing with true crime, you've got to have a little bit of light relief somewhere. I'm sure Samantha had a sense of humour. You know, they're all in the middle of this very serious, you know, looking for this poor woman's remains who's been attacked and apparently murdered on, and all that, but still you cannot escape from the petty things in life. People are petty, aren't they? You know, about they're kind. Don't get me wrong. These are the good and the bad things about people. You know, people can be very kind, like these people were going to offer their help. Search for Samantha. You know, there's a positivity in the community, but also they can be really petty because a tray of sausages went missing. Oh God, and that was Sausage Gate. It was all this big thing about who'd taken this tray of sausages home. You know, probably a dog had them or something. I don't know, but it just makes me giggle to think about it. You know, and I hope, as I say, I'm sure Samantha's got a sense of humour. You know, I certainly, if it was me that they were looking for, that would make me giggle. Just the fact that, you know, that was sort of what they had to talk about on the Facebook group was, where's the sausages gone? Who's had the sausages? Sausage Gate.
Ballarat and beyond mobilised for what became months of extensive searches. Data from Samantha's phone and Apple Watch showed she ran 7 kilometres through nearby bushland, but no trace of her was found there. In May, her phone and wallet were discovered on the edge of a dam roughly 5 kilometres south of where her phone last pinged a tower. 23-year-old Parick Orren Stephenon has been charged with her murder, but has pleaded not guilty.
Some people.
Yeah, and it's going back to them finding the phone there. So that video there, where is it? That was when they found the phone in this dam. It looked like it had been flung out of a car, and that was a dog, wasn't it, that found it? They've got these dogs that can find electronic devices, trackers and things. The SIM card, so the dog will have picked up on the SIM card. And that was a massive thing to find her phone like that. So that will be, I'm sure that's going to come into the case big time.
5 kilometres south of where her phone last pinged a tower. 23-year-old Parick Orren Stephenon has been charged with her murder, but has pleaded not guilty.
Some people still have that bit of fear. There's a whole piece of unknown.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever gotten over it.
The commitment to finding Samantha is unwavering, with police vowing to do everything in their power to locate her. Further searches are likely to take place in the coming months.
I just think it'd be great if they could get some closure for the family.
I think Ballarat's a place where everyone deserves and should feel safe.
Stephenon opted to have his case fast-tracked to the Supreme Court, where he'll appear on February 18. Isabel Quinlan.
No, it's important to remember that he only opted to have his case fast-tracked because that means it's kept more secretive. That's in his advantage. It's not in the family's advantage. And I see what you're saying there, Caroline, and I agree. When I heard about this, I could not believe how young he was. But do you know what? Axel Rudakabana was 17 when he stabbed those 3 girls to death. There is no age limit on evil. There is no. It's hard to accept sometimes. And of course, because he's like the all-Australian boy, I suppose if he was Aboriginal descent, or if he was, immigrant or something like that, people would be much quicker to accept that he might be guilty. But it's difficult to accept that evil comes in nice packages. And also, these pictures that they keep showing of him doesn't look like that anymore. This is how he looks. He's massive. For a start, let's get this back up. So this is a picture of it. So he's got this massive beard now. He looks completely different. He looks scary now. I can't show his face. I'm not allowed to. So I've put the blue flower over his face for the pansy that he is. I like to put that flower over his face because he won't. I think he's like a real macho, thinks he's it type person, spoilt brat. Got away with murder all his life. Now he's thinking he can get away with literal murder. Personally, that's how I feel about Parick. And I think he thinks he'll get away. He hasn't done anything to help the family. Everything he's doing. Now, he could be innocent because everyone's innocent till proven guilty. But in my opinion, the police would not have arrested him and charged him unless they're 100% certain he's guilty. So we'll see. We can only wait and see. But I hope he likes that flower over his face. Hope he does. Anyway. Let's finish that off.
On February 18, Isabel Quinlan, 9 News.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are. We're a year. I cannot believe. Can you believe it's been a year since Samantha went on that fateful run? I mean, it's like you cannot believe it, can you? Cannot believe it. A whole year. Gosh. Okay, now there's one more article I just want to show. This is the Daily Mail, and the reason really that I want to show it, so it's more or less saying the same thing. But they have got a picture. Let me see. So yeah, it's more or less saying the same thing, that detectives have vowed to keep hunting for the body of Samantha, etc. So there's not really any different information there. But I think this is like an interesting photo. Let's have a look. It's the gallery that I think is interesting. So look, so that's just one. Imagine searching through that. That's just one small area, and she could be anywhere in there, So, and some of these areas, it's difficult to take the dogs. How, because sometimes the dogs can't get through these areas, or they're just not effective. So sometimes just what you have to do is go with sticks, literally painstakingly. And this is just a small area. Imagine how massive the area actually is. So this is just what the police are up against. Now, this is the Detective Inspector Dave Dunstan from the Missing Persons Squad. Now, I haven't seen him before. We've seen a couple of people from the Missing Persons Squad at police press conferences, like last year, of course. So I haven't seen any press conferences for ages. And so it was interesting to see this photo of him. I don't remember seeing him before. Detective Inspector Dave Dunstan from the Missing Persons Squad said they would continue to search the area, including searches in areas highlighted by intelligence derived from a number of sources. So we don't know who or what those sources are. It's all hush hush, top secret till the trial. Oh, let's watch this. So this was Sam's husband talking, Mick. I've got to watch an advert by the look of it.
You know what we know?
So this was the interview he did as Patrick was charged. So I don't know if you remember, but initially they wouldn't give Patrick's name. Patrick's name was protected, but then it leaked out on social media anyway. So then they decided to give his name.
God, the adrenaline with everything that's going on, it's trying to be brave for everybody. It's something you wouldn't want anyone to experience. But the police are going to be doing a press conference later today. Police Commissioner speaking. He'll enlighten us all with it. Down the track, if we've got something to say, we'll say, and I'll come and see you. But yeah, if you can just give us a bit of privacy for the rest of the day.
Is this a relief after all of these weeks?
Yeah, it is, definitely. Yeah, it's like someone's just let the pressure valve off, sort of thing. Hasn't been a good like nearly 5 weeks. But, anyway, we're doing as good as we can. Keeping a brave face.
Can you just tell us what the last few weeks have been
like? To be honest, yeah. So anyway, so that's all I'll say now. But yeah, so let the police commissioner do a little bit later on and go with that. But, yeah.
And just lastly, do you hope to find where Samantha is? And
of course we do.
Yeah, have the police given any indication?
No, nothing.
Do you have a message to perhaps the person to help?
No, I haven't got any comment on that. So thank you.
Have you been supported by the community at the moment?
Oh, the community's just been, the word goes, it's just been unbelievable. You could not, the generosity and the support from the community has just been just overwhelming. Friends, family, everyone. There's just that much respect for Sam and for us and family.
Yeah. Rallying around you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time, Vic.
Oh, and this was him coming out of the police station.
On remand at the moment.
Oh no, this is.
As he said, I'm listening to you about your
Oh, this is his lawyer. This is his lawyer. Yeah, she's not making a statement at all.
And on what basis will you fight this charge?
Yeah, don't want to say
He's
anything.
been missing for more than a year and a half. While his body has never been found.
All right, this is
prosecutors say he
another one.
presumed dead
So
in the Milwaukee River. I'm Madeline Anderson, live in Glendale, with more of the 4 people now charged in connection with his murder. Madeline.
Prosecutors say the suspects killed the victim.
I don't know what this has got to do with Samantha Murphy. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, so yeah, this is the guy now who's in charge of it all. So don't forget that Patrick has pled not guilty. He hasn't been found guilty yet. And of course, her ID cards and her phone was found. Yeah, that's where we are. Let's see if there's any more videos. So there again, gosh, he looks nothing like that now, does he? Absolutely nothing now. So he's got one. There are rumours that he may have changed his religion to Muslim while he's in prison because he's got one of them great big, beards that we associate with that religion. Though it may be nothing to do with that. Maybe, maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's just grown the beard to look tough. I have no idea why. He looks nothing like that now. Well, let's have another look at that picture. I still can't quite. When I watched him on the video, I just couldn't believe it. So, he's got all this long hair now and this great big bushy beard that just goes from here. It doesn't go right up to his sideboards. Yeah. He looks nothing like he looked before. Well, of course, he's a bit older now, I suppose, so... Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading this as I'm scrolling down. There's no new information on there. Just want to see if there's any more... Yeah, the search, the detective guy, we watched that video. And this is when they found the phone and the wallet. That was a big thing, I think, for them. They already, thing is, so they arrested Patrick. So Samantha went missing in February and they arrested Patrick about a month later. So he had quite a lot of time, while he was free and roaming about. We don't know why they arrested him. That's all information that will come out at the trial. It was said that they've got an unprecedented amount of evidence against him, digital evidence. So what does that mean? Does that mean phone pings? Does that mean CCTV? Probably a combination of a lot of things. And then they found the phone. So, they've got even more information now. So I think the police are pretty confident that they're going to find him guilty of murder. Their concern is just to find Samantha and bring her home to family. But he's keeping quiet. See, it may be that at the very last minute he decides to plead guilty if he eventually realises that he's got no chance of getting off. He may plead guilty and then he might reveal where her remains are. It's all unknown quantity at the moment, isn't it? But anyway, I thought I'd just share with you what the police were saying, on this sort of, it's like a grim anniversary, isn't it? It's a year. I can't believe it's been a year. Why do things seem to happen in January, February, don't they? We had the Nicola Bully, sort of the anniversary, if you like, of the grim anniversary of when Nicola went missing. Of course, those 2 twins have disappeared into the river and been found dead. January. Sebastian Rogers disappeared beginning of February. The next one will be Sebastian and Madeline Soto, who both disappeared on the same day in February. There's something about January and February. And I do think that a lot of dark things happen. Oh, having said that, it was summer in Australia. It was summer in Australia, so you can't think that it happened because it was but it was, I just don't know. There's probably no reason for it, but just from what I've noticed, a lot of the true crime cases that I cover, it all seems to be around January, February. Are they significant dates after Christmas? Is that why? Do people get depressed, when Christmas comes and goes and it's the new year and it's still the same old shit going on? Nothing's changed, nothing's got better. Sorry, Heather, I meant to say hello to you, but I've nearly finished now. Sorry, you are a little bit late to the party, but I'll let you off. Are dates significant? I've been talking about this for ages, and I keep meaning to do an investigation into it, but I just don't have the time. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have time to keep up with the cases I'm doing. But yeah, I've got this, dates. Many crime videos that I've watched talking about like serial killers and people like that. Dates are significant to people. People, especially like Valentine's Day, Christmas, New Year. These are dates you can't escape from. If there's a date, I don't know, a significant date, maybe it's 3rd of March. But that's not a significant date in the lives of everybody, is it? So it's not on the telly, on the adverts like Christmas, New Year being forced down your throat, Easter, Valentine's Day. You might not be feeling like Valentine's Day. You've not got a Valentine, or you hate maybe your bar humbug as far as Valentine's Day concerned, or maybe it's a tragic anniversary to you, like it used to be to me. Now I don't think of it like that, but you know what, I don't think about it like that. Nearly 30 years have gone by. It took me 20 years to get over it. So these significant dates, I do think they make people feel worse. If someone's feeling like they want to unalive themselves, they feel worse at Christmas when it looks like everybody else having a great time and they're not. Or it's Valentine's Day, they haven't got a Valentine, everybody else looks loved up. Especially in these days of social media, when people, it always looks like everyone's having a great time. You're having a shit time and you don't realise that they're probably having a shit time as well. But they're just covering it up better because they're putting pictures on Instagram or whatever. These are all significant times, I think. Birthdays apparently are significant times to killers. Super Bowl, Thanksgiving, anything that's a significant date can trigger crime for one reason or another, apparently. But I need to, I'd like to go and look at it in a bigger way, but one day I'll have time. Not at the moment. But anyway, thank you so much. I wanted to tell you this update from Victoria Police. I think it's great that they're still looking for her. I don't think they'll ever stop looking for her. But hopefully it won't have to. I just feel like one day I'm going to turn on this computer and there it's going to be that Samantha has been found. I certainly hope so. And I hope so, especially for her family. Okay, so please remember to subscribe so that you'll get, when that happens, you'll be the first to know. I may see you later on today, I'm not sure, but I'll see you soon, as always, in the next video. And until I see you again, as always, may your God go with you. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, so don't forget, thank you to Claire for the super sticker. Thank you so much. And yeah, we've got 5 new members and then another 5 new members that I can only gift them on the Spanish and English channel. I can't gift them on the Vicki Marie Chats channel because it's not actually my primary channel. My primary channel is Spanish and English, and Vicki Marie Chats Crime is like a subsidiary of it. But anyway, so yeah, don't forget to subscribe. See you very soon in the next video, and until then, Thank you so much, and may your God go with you. Bye.